Isn't it interesting how the mind already knows what it needs to know, even before the words fully form? And sometimes the best way to learn something new is to forget you ever thought you knew how learning works. Like that moment in comedy, just before the punchline, where silence sings louder than sound, where your unconscious leans forward, already laughing before your conscious mind catches up, because sometimes the best kind of transformation doesn't shout. It whispers through a smile, disguised as curiosity, wrapped in a question. You see, people who master tension in comedy, they play with polarity, pain and pleasure, light and dark, certainty and chaos. And isn't that exactly how beliefs are rewired? Through contrast, through interrupts, through asking, what else could this mean? Right at the edges of expectation. Because there's something about the absurdity of life that makes everything more believable when it's wrapped in laughter. And when your belief system becomes a playground, even fear learns to giggle. Think of a comic standing on a stage. He feels the silence, he holds it, he doesn't flinch, he leans in, because he knows tension is not the enemy. Tension is the paintbrush, the spark, the stage. The same is true with change. The same is true with growth. You can hold tension, not to escape it, but to play with it, to reshape it, to let your unconscious begin to install a new operating system, one belief at a time, or perhaps all at once. You're always growing, you're enough. You don't even have to believe that yet, because your unconscious already does. And when you remember, or even if you forget to remember, that failure is just feedback, and every feedback loop just refines your comedic timing with life, then suddenly, what once made you stumble now becomes part of the punchline. You begin to move from survival to style. Let me give you an example. A comedian walks into a bar, not to tell a joke, but to feel the energy. He notices who's avoiding eye contact, who's secretly listening, who's ready to laugh, but hasn't been given permission yet. He reads the room the same way that you can begin to read your inner world, with curiosity, with warmth, with the understanding that everyone, including you, is just waiting for someone to say what everyone's been thinking. And when you realize that, you become that someone. You're quick-witted, not because you try, but because you stop trying to try. And that's the thing. Trying is tension, but play. Now that's power. So from now on, you don't need to try to hold the tension. You just learn to ride it. Like a wave, you already know how to surf. Like a story you've told 1,000 times that somehow gets funnier every time you remember it. Imagine this. You're on a stage, not just in front of people, in front of your life. And instead of performing, you connect. You pause for effect, not because you're scared, but because you understand. The space between the words is where the change begins. The audience laughs. They don't know why, but something inside them relaxes. Just like inside you, something is letting go. As you move from joke to insight to punchline to pause, you find yourself naturally aligning with a new operating system, one that says reality is malleable. My energy influences everything. Curiosity is the key to mastery. People mirror what I project. My presence is a gift. You don't need to tell a joke to be funny. You don't need to force a belief to install it. You just need to notice the patterns, the rhythm of contrast, the tension before the laugh, the silence before the shift, and then, without even meaning to, you begin to model mastery. Just like Erickson, when he told stories within stories within stories, so someone could forget what they were trying to change and instead become the kind of person who'd already changed. Because what if right now you're already installing this belief system, not because I said it, but because you're saying it to yourself. Like the comic who realizes the audience was just waiting for someone to go first. You're that someone. And with every loop, every laugh, every pause and paradox, you're rewriting your code. And from now on, every experience becomes a callback. Every moment becomes material. And every breath is a standing ovation. And it feels good, doesn't it?